Okay. Now we're rolling. Today I'm going to be talking about Black Bag, the new film by Steven Soderbergh. This is his second film of the year and like his 36th film of his career. He's been making films since like the early 90s. Presents came out in February, I believe, or maybe even January. But that film was really good because it was all shot in like the perspective of the ghost. It was all shot on like a Sony camera. And that is sort of something that Steven Soderbergh likes to do, is kind of experiment in filmmaking on how little of a crew he can use and how big he can go on such a small budget. It's really interesting seeing Steven Soderbergh work throughout the years and the way his career like ebbs and flows is really just interesting to see. It's cool to see he's like a director for hire. He's been making like 2 films a year for the past few years. He's really good. Like he's one of the greats. He's made like the Ocean's trilogy. He's made the Magic Mike movies. He made like Aaron Brockovich, Sex, Lies, and Videotape. Like he's made so many great films. And in between all that, he's made so many like hidden gems. Everything he's been doing has either gone like super under the radar or blown up like Magic Mike has, or like kind of like how the Ocean's trilogy has. Like it made a few movie stars out of that film. And in this one, it's kind of like Steven Soderbergh going back into that bag of Oceans and kind of having the more classy approach to film and making a Hollywood picture and a spy, espionage thriller that's also like a romance, like sometimes erotic. Like it's really a great film that he's made that I feel like would be one of the best films in the early 2000s. Like this is a movie that people are like asking for, and then when it comes out people are going to say it's like boring or it's something we've seen before and it's this and that. So I feel like all the bad reviews that I've seen, like I literally YouTube searched Black Bag the other day and literally a review popped up and the thumbnail said James Bland. And I was like, why would you like make that the selling point? Like I get if you don't like the movie, sure, but to like for that to be the first impression for some people on a movie, that like I feel like what's the point like in talking about it if you're just gonna shit on it? I don't know, because this movie dives into the genre of spies and stuff, it can get boring. And there was some scenes where if I wasn't watching this in theaters, if I was watching this at home, it would be very boring. But like I said, this is a movie that could have been made in the early 2000s and been what everyone was talking about, kind of like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. The movie is about Kate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender play this married couple that are also spies, and all their friends are spies, and they work together for this agency that has a couple like cliques and some traitors, and it gets out that there is a traitor inside their group, and the word gets out to Michael Fassbender that his wife is suspected to be said traitor. So he kind of goes on his own journey of trying to find out the truth and testing her loyalty towards the agency and also towards him. And it's a really well written film. And it was written by David Koepp, who is known for working for these big directors like Brian De Palma, Steven Spielberg, or like he wrote Spider-Man for Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. So he's knows how to write these big scale films, and knowing that screenplay can be elevated tenfold. It's a really good film about marriage and like kind of looking out for each other and always covering for each other without putting the other in danger and putting yourself in danger and making a mess out of everything. It's really great. You feel like that atmosphere of the spy thriller, the James Bond-esque aesthetic, because of the score, which is also someone who Steven Soderbergh collaborates with pretty often. And the film is also edited and shot by Steven Soderbergh, which is something that Sean Baker just won a bunch of Oscars for. And this is something that Steven Soderbergh is kind of doing week in and week out, it feels like. I think Michael Fassbender gives a really great, like dry, cold performance, kind of like he does in a bunch of different movies. Like in Prometheus, you can see he's able to pull off the zero humanity aspect of his character. In Magneto, he plays like this this anger fueled villain that is out for revenge. And that was the first role I've ever seen him as a kid. And it blew me. I was like, that's Magneto. And just a couple years ago in The Killer, directed by David Fincher, it's the Netflix movie that was one of my favorite films of the year. And he gives such a cold killer performance in that is so well done, along with the direction of David Fincher. And of course, in Steve Jobs, he's able to come across as a psycho, like super well. Like he has that note. He's in his bag of able to do shit like that. And he's doing it here again. And that's what Steven Soderbergh wanted for this fucking character. And that's what he got. Cate Blanchett, who is one of my favorite big actresses out right now, who's been working for forever, it feels like. Last thing I really loved her in was Tar, which that movie blew my mind. I really, really, really wish she won the Oscar for that, because that performance is something that anybody getting into acting should like focus on, because I think that's one of the best films, or I should say best performances of the decade. Even though it was nominated for an Oscar, it still didn't get a fraction of the recognition it should be getting. And in a supporting role is Naomi Harris, who I recognize from Moonlight, but she's also in Pirates of the Caribbean. She's in 28 Days Later. She's in the new James Bond films and much more great roles. She also gives a really well done performance here that I feel like isn't utilized enough. Like, she has a pretty important part that I just feel like there's a lot of things that kind of fall flat throughout the film. Like, there's some things that aren't kind of dove into enough. I guess that's why some people could kind of not like the film, is that it might be a little too slow or a little too, like, the pacing could be a little off. But this is another one of those films where you kind of just have to buy into it. You can't really go into it wanting more than what it's giving you, because with the spy film, you can't be like prying for shit. Like, the information literally like can't just be spoon fed to you. I feel like if you want to watch like a traditional thing, like, then go watch like a TV series. You know what I mean? Whenever I told people about this movie, and like I told my mom that I was going to see this movie, and she asked me what it was about, and she ended up telling me that it sounds like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and which it does. And even seeing the trailer, like, you can see it's just like the same concept of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but I guess with a little less humor, but not saying that it's not funny. But overall, like, final thoughts, like, I think I'm just going to wrap this up now. I would give it, this is like a strong 6 type of movie. And I'm going to put up like a graphic to where it's like Anthony Fantano videos. Like, I'm just going to put strong 6. One last thing I forgot to add before I actually wrap up, edit this in real quick, is that Marissa Abella, she won the movie for me. I thought she had the best performance. It was the best character of the film. It was the one that kind of gave the whole movie light. She definitely won the movie. She just came off of playing Amy Winehouse in that biopic that I did not see. She was also in the Barbie film. But I think in this film, I think a lot of her talents really came out because of her interactions with Cate Blanchett, her interactions with the entire group, and also Michael Fassbender, and the lie detector scenes and like the dinner table scenes. It was all like really well done. So just quick shout out. I did not want to forget that, because that was my favorite part of the film. And I think it was such like an obvious great part of the film that I didn't think to like just mention it at first. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this film, or for watching this video. And please go watch the film. Let me know if you guys like it. Come back and watch this film after you see it, and then let me know your thoughts. I already did the outro. I already recorded the outro, but I'll just let my past self do it. Okay, peace. But yeah, but anyways, get ready for my next video is going to be about Opus. And then after that, I am going to have my brother on as a guest. We're going to do like a podcast type video. We're going to be talking about Alien Romulus and also like the other Alien films, but who knows like what else we'll get into and talk about. But just want to get you guys ready for that. Once I have my brother on, I'll probably want more guests after that, and I'll just have people on sometimes, and sometimes it'll be just me. I want to be able to make this YouTube channel more of a an ever growing thing to where like it'll never stay the same. So I hope you guys subscribe and like these videos and share them, because I just want to be able to share movie talk and movie discussion and being able to just, do this for fun. And it's super cool, and I'm really thankful for the people who are watching. So yeah, peace.